Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to unpack those complex ideas, really cut through the noise, and arm you with insights you need to, well, truly thrive. Today, we're diving into something that, honestly, if you master it, it can reshape pretty much every crucial business interaction you have. It can turn that feeling of uncertainty into real momentum. Many of us, especially ambitious SME owners like you, often walk into sales conversations feeling like we're just reacting, leaving our most vital moments almost up to chance. It's a bit like showing up to a chess match and, letting your opponent make the first three moves. It just doesn't work. But here's the powerful truth we've really distilled from our sources. It's a direct challenge to that common belief, and it goes like this. Stop losing control in your first 5 minutes. The Najah strategy demands you set the frame with clarity and purpose, or every subsequent effort is an uphill battle. Wow, that statement really cuts right to the core of what we're exploring today. Frame control. And look, this isn't just about making a good first impression, is it?
Not at all. It's about purposefully winning those initial 5 minutes, that crucial window in any important business conversation.
Okay, so if your meetings often feel chaotic, maybe unproductive, or if you, let's be honest, many of us absolutely hate feeling salesy, but deep down you need to lead,
Then you're in exactly the right place.
we're talking about frame control. And while that specific term might not be explicitly everywhere in our source materials, the core principles, they're deeply embedded in what's called the Najah strategy.
Right. Think of it as the antidote. The solution to being immediately on the back foot, dealing with that swirl of confusion, the doubt, the resistance that can pop up right at the start.
So it's more than just managing the chat.
Much more.
Yeah.
It's about taking the reins, setting a crystal clear direction, making sure every single interaction starts with purpose.
Not just avoiding those aimless chats or, frankly, uncomfortable pitches.
Exactly. It's about consistently guiding things towards genuinely productive outcomes. Outcomes that benefit everyone involved.
That makes sense. But how does the Najah strategy specifically view this? Because frame control can sometimes sound a bit manipulative.
That's a really important point. And what's fascinating and often missed is how the Najah strategy, and just for context, Najah is Arabic for success or triumph, sees this frame control not as manipulation at all. It frames it as an ethical duty.
An ethical duty? How so?
Well, think about it. When you step into a conversation as the expert, you have a responsibility, right? You are, or should be, deliberately and ethically setting the context, the direction, right from that very first interaction. It's about ensuring that you, the guide, are seen as trustworthy, as knowledgeable, and critically, as genuinely focused on the customer's best interest, not just your own commission.
Okay, so it's definitely not about tricking someone.
Absolutely not. It's fundamentally about serving, not selling. It's about leading with such clarity, such purpose, that the conversation naturally moves towards an outcome that's genuinely good for them. It's leadership.
So how do we actually build this ethical frame? Are there core components within the Najah strategy?
Yes, definitely. We can identify 5 core pillars that really hold up this idea of frame control, especially in those critical first 5 minutes. First, and this is foundational, it's about establishing the Najah mindset.
Okay, the mindset. What does that look like?
It's not just a fuzzy idea. It's a real shift. It means approaching every conversation with what we call ethical persuasion. Your genuine aim isn't just to close a deal. It's to help people make the absolute best decision for themselves, even if that means they don't buy from you right now.
Like a trusted advisor.
Exactly. Think about a doctor. You trust them because you believe their primary goal is your well-being, right? That's the mindset. When your intention is truly service-oriented, not just pushing a product, it sets this subtle, powerful frame. Prospects feel it. They sense you're on their side.
And without that mindset?
Without it, any attempt at frame control can feel like coercion. And that's the opposite of Najah. Your internal compass has to be set to serve. If it's not, your actions will eventually give you away no matter how polished they seem.
Okay, mindset first. What's pillar number 2?
The second pillar is leading with clarity. Our sources are relentless on this point. Your message, especially right at the start, has got to be so clear, simple, and direct that there's no room for confusion.
Simple, clear, direct. Why is that so critical up front?
Because we live in a world overloaded with noise, right? Attention spans are, well, fleeting. If your opening statement needs decoding, requires effort to understand. You've lost them already.
So complexity kills the frame.
Instantly. This foundational clarity frames the conversation around one specific problem and one compelling solution. It stops those early, frustrating detours where the conversation goes off track.
Can you give an example for, say, an SME owner?
Sure. Instead of saying, we offer integrated digital marketing solutions covering SEO, PPC, and social media management, which is all features.
Right, the feature dump we talked about.
Exactly. You might say something like, we help local businesses like yours consistently get more customers through their online presence. See the difference?
Yeah, one is about what you do, the other is about the customer's result. Problem solved.
Precisely. It frames a solution to their problem. If you don't lead with that kind of sharpness, you just invite confusion. And confusion is the enemy of certainty.
Makes perfect sense. What's the third pillar?
Pillar 3 is initiating the straight line to certainty. From the absolute beginning, you, as the expert, need to know exactly what you want your customer to do.
Know the destination.
Know the destination. This isn't about being pushy, it's about being prepared, purposeful. Having that clear outcome in mind guides the conversation directly towards that decision. No wasted words, no tangents.
Like having a map in the forest.
Perfect analogy. Without it, you wander. With it, you have a clear path. This clarity lets you craft your opening, your questions, everything to logically lead the prospect down that path.
And if you don't have that destination clear in your own head,
then you can't possibly control the frame. The conversation drifts. And you end up with, think about it. Or worse, just a polite dead end. It's about providing leadership, you see, not just dumping information.
Leadership, not just info. Got it. Pillar 4.
The fourth is projecting unshakable belief and authority. This one's powerful. Your genuine, deep-down belief in your product, your service, and critically, in your own ability to help your clients. It's described as contagious.
Contagious belief, so not arrogance.
No, definitely not arrogance. It's conviction. Conviction rooted in real value, real experience. This inner confidence subtly frames you as the credible expert. It makes people more open to your guidance.
Can you illustrate that?
Think of a pilot. If they get on the intercom and say, folks, we might get there, hopefully things go okay, how would you feel?
Pretty nervous.
Right. Now imagine they say with calm confidence, we're on course, estimated arrival is on time, conditions are good. That certainty transfers.
Okay. So your conviction builds their confidence.
Exactly. It creates an aura of authority.
Yeah.
Your recommendations feel less like pitches and more like trusted advice.
Yeah.
When you genuinely believe, it shows in your voice, your posture, your directness. Without that belief, your frame is weak. It's easily challenged.
Okay, strong belief. What's the final pillar?
And finally, pillar number 5, building immediate rapport and trust. This is timeless, isn't it? People buy from people they like and trust.
The human element.
Absolutely. You initiate a real connection through genuine interest, through empathy, through transparent communication, right from the get-go.
So not just being fake friendly.
No, authenticity is key. It's about real human connection, asking a thoughtful question, really listening to the answer, showing you understand. When you make that real connection, you establish a positive, receptive frame immediately.
Yeah, I can feel the difference when someone launches into a pitch versus someone who takes a moment to connect.
Right. One builds a wall, the other builds a bridge. This rapport is like the emotional glue. It allows the other 4 pillars, the mindset, the clarity, the straight line, the belief, to actually take hold.
Because without trust.
Without trust, even the most logical argument, the clearest message, just falls flat. It won't land.
Okay, those 5 pillars, Najah mindset, clarity, straight line, belief, and rapport, paint a really clear picture. But let's really hammer home why this is so critical in those first 5 minutes. Why is it the most critical step?
It really is non-negotiable. Because getting it wrong in those first 5 minutes means you're immediately playing catch-up. You're inviting confusion, doubt, resistance, things that are incredibly hard to undo later. It sets the entire trajectory.
So what's the immediate impact of getting it right?
Well, first, it cuts through the noise instantly. We talked about the noise, right? The distractions, the endless choices. Your initial message has to stand out instantly with laser precision.
Ow!
By speaking directly to a pressing problem. If your first words don't immediately resonate with their biggest headache or desire, they will simply move on. They don't have time.
Like a billboard screaming, I solve your problem.
Exactly that. Otherwise, you're just another notification they swipe away. Instantly forgotten. Frame control makes you the signal, not the noise.
Okay, cuts through noise. What else?
Second, and this is huge, it builds immediate trust and credibility. Your initial approach showing integrity, empathy, clear intentions instantly determines if they see you as a helpful guide or just another pushy salesperson.
And that perception
And
matters.
it's everything. Our sources say it powerfully. When you operate with integrity, your certainty becomes undeniable. People don't just trust the product, they trust you.
So it's about the relationship, not just the transaction.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Think about it. Would you trust directions from someone who seems unsure or keeps changing their mind? A shaky or self-serving frame destroys credibility from the start.
Makes sense. What's the third reason it's so critical?
Third, it defines the purpose of the conversation. By establishing your destination, that straight line to certainty, you immediately frame the conversation. It becomes a purposeful journey towards a solution.
Not just a random chat or a sales pitch.
Right. This structure actually provides confidence for both sides. The prospect feels less anxious because they know where things are heading, broadly speaking. And for you, it provides a roadmap to stay focused.
And if you don't define the purpose,
Then the prospect often will. And they might lead it towards price or minor objections before you've even established the real value you bring. You lose control of the narrative.
got it. Purpose provides structure. Any other key reasons?
Yes, it also prevents misdirection and wasted effort. If you don't control the frame, the prospect might, consciously or not. And that can lead you down rabbit holes, right? Focusing on irrelevant details or premature objections.
Yeah, getting stuck on minor points before they see the big picture.
Exactly. The Najah strategy stresses no detours, no wasted words for this reason. Efficiency, clarity. Every moment in those first 5 minutes needs to be intentional. Without a strong frame, you're letting distractions dictate the path, wasting everyone's time.
Okay, efficiency. And the final, maybe deepest reason.
Finally, and maybe most profoundly, frame control creates the environment for certainty. Remember, the ultimate goal in the Najah strategy is to transfer certainty, to move your prospect from doubt to confident decision-making.
And frame control sets the stage for that.
It absolutely does. It begins by framing the interaction as one where genuine help is offered, where problems are truly understood, and where a clear, desirable path forward is presented. When you guide them gently but firmly to the next step, as the sources say, it feels natural, obvious, not forced. Because the frame for confident decision-making was set right from the start.
It earns you the right to lead ethically.
Beautifully put. It paves the way for their own Najah, their own success.
Okay, that theoretical understanding is powerful. Knowing why frame control is so vital, it really lands. It feels like a make or break moment for SME owners like our listeners. And I know I've definitely stumbled in those first 5 minutes. I bet many listening have too, right? That feeling of the conversation just slipping away.
We've all been there.
So if we know what it is and why it's vital, what does it actually look like when we get it wrong? What are those common traps people fall into, maybe without even realizing it? And more importantly, how do we pivot? How do we consciously shift from those pitfalls to make sure we are seen as that credible, trusted guide without feeling, salesy?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Because understanding the why is only half the equation. Nailing frame control in those first 5 minutes, it's absolutely critical. Get it wrong, and you immediately lose that position of authority, that trust. You basically hand over control, and that's just, well, it's not where you want to be.
So let's break it down. What are the mistakes?
Okay, let's dive into the 3 most common mistakes we see people making, and then crucially, the 3 direct, actionable fixes based on the Najah strategy. So, mistake number 1, overwhelming the prospect with unclear, feature-heavy information.
Ah, the classic feature dump.
Exactly. It's so common. People think they need to say too much at once. They walk in, jump on a call, and immediately start listing every single feature, every benefit, trying to impress with how much they know or offer.
Reading off a spec sheet.
Pretty much. They might say something like, our cutting-edge platform utilizes a proprietary synergistic methodology incorporating multi-vector analysis. And you just see the other person's eyes glaze over.
Yeah, because it's just jargon.
Right. It overwhelms the audience and dilutes the core message. They use complicated or technical language, or they're just vague about the actual problem they solve.
And the impact.
Immediate confusion. Prospects simply move on. Their attention is fleeting. You've blown your first 5 minutes making them work too hard just to figure out what you're talking about. They check out. You gave them a complex manual when they just wanted to know if you could fix their problem.
Okay, so mistake 1 is overwhelming with jargon and features. What's the fix?
The fix is to immediately establish crystal clear, problem-focused messaging. Your very first interaction, your opening words, need to be so clear, simple, and direct that there's no room for confusion.
Clear, simple, direct. How do we do that practically?
You focus on one main problem you solve, not 5, not 10. One compelling problem that really hits home for them. Use simple, everyday language. Talk like a human. And critically, highlight benefits, not features. Remember the drill. People don't buy the drill. They buy the whole. They buy the result.
Focus on the outcome, the solution.
Exactly. You need to grab attention, the hook, right away by speaking directly to their biggest problem or desire. This immediately positions you as someone who understands a problem solver.
Can you give an example of that fix?
Sure. Instead of the tech jargon example, you might say, we help businesses like yours cut their monthly operating costs by up to 30% by automating their most time-consuming tasks.
Ah, clear benefit, clear problem.
Cost
Okay.
time. Or for maybe a smaller local business, are you constantly worried about where your next customer is coming from? We help businesses get a steady stream of qualified leads so you can focus on delivering great service.
It shows you get it immediately.
Right. It sets a frame of relevance, of value. You're painting a picture of their life after the problem is gone. That's a frame they want to step into.
That distinction is so helpful, focusing on their problem, their desired outcome. And it really leads into the next mistake, doesn't it? That feeling of being talked at.
It absolutely does. Your point leads us straight to mistake number 2, focusing entirely on themselves and their offerings without empathy.
The me approach.
That's a good way to put it. Businesses talk about themselves too much. They launch into their company history, their awards, their amazing features. Instead of focusing on the customer's needs, their challenges, their opening might be, founded in 1998, our company has won numerous industry awards and serves Fortune 500 clients with our patented system.
And the customer is thinking.
What does it have to do with me? It often involves speaking in a way that feels distant or impersonal, using formal or stiff language. The result: a total failure to build rapport, no real connection. The prospect feels like a target, not a person. It creates a transactional frame, not a relational one. And for SMEs, relationships are gold.
Yeah, you feel like just another number on their list. So how do we fix that?
The fix is to proactively demonstrate empathy and build genuine rapport right from the start. You have to consciously show empathy and understanding. Let them know immediately you see and feel their struggles.
Show you understand their world.
Precisely. And this isn't just about being nice, it's strategic. It means you need to listen more than you talk. It sounds basic, but it's fundamental. Ask those open-ended questions that invite them to share.
Like what?
Questions like, what's the biggest challenge you're facing in your business right now? Or, if you could wave a magic wand, what's the one thing you'd change about how things are running? By truly understanding your audience deeply, and this is key, using their language, the actual words they use for their problems, you create that real connection.
Using their language builds resonance.
It builds huge resonance. And that connection, the sources remind us, is the bedrock of all successful sales. Make them feel heard, seen, understood. You could say something like, a lot of business owners I talk to in your industry mention they're struggling with specific problem. Is that something that resonates with you?
That immediately frames it as us understanding them.
Exactly. It's a frame of shared understanding of we're exploring this together, not I'm here to sell you. Be a confidant first, a vendor second.
That shift from me to you is powerful. But okay, let's say you're empathetic, you're clear, but then you make a huge claim. What about trust?
You anticipated it perfectly. That brings us right to mistake number 3, making unsubstantiated claims or lacking transparency.
The too good to be true syndrome.
Precisely. Early in a conversation, bold claims without evidence can feel empty or even dishonest. When people make big promises without proof, like that classic, we guarantee we'll double your revenue in 60 days, without any context.
Red flags go up immediately.
Huge red flags. Or when they neglect to be honest and transparent about limitations or what's realistically achievable, it just instantly erodes trust. Imagine someone just declaring, this is simply the best solution out there, without backing it up. It violates that core Najah principle of integrity, which is all about putting the customer's best interest first.
So it creates skepticism right away.
Massive skepticism. It puts a huge question mark over your credibility. You can't build a strong, certain frame on shaky ground like that. Their internal alarm bells start ringing and they mentally disengage.
Okay, so avoid empty hype. What's the fix? How do we project belief with integrity?
The fix is to project that unshakable belief, integrity, by providing value and proof. Yes, your unshakable belief is crucial, it's contagious. But it needs to be paired with sharing real proof.
Tangible evidence.
Exactly. Tangible stuff like testimonials from happy clients. Social proof is powerful, like case studies showing real results, stories of transformation, or relevant data or numbers that actually back up what you're saying. Our average client sees a 20% reduction in errors, that kind of thing.
Proof, not just promises.
Proof, not promises. And crucially, operate with transparency. Be honest about what your solution can do and maybe what it can't do or who it's not right for. That honesty builds incredible trust. And don't forget the value first mandate. This means consistently providing genuine free value before asking for a sale.
Give before you ask.
Yes. Offer a free assessment, a valuable insight, a useful tip related to their problem, something that helps them regardless of whether they buy. This positions you as a helpful, ethical expert committed to serving, not selling. You're demonstrating your value and integrity up front, building certainty through action, not just words.
That playbook, avoiding the feature dump, focusing on empathy, and backing belief with proof, gives such clear, actionable steps. It really feels like a roadmap for those first 5 minutes. But theory is one thing. Seeing it work in the real world, that often makes it click. Can you share a story, a real example of someone who took these principles, applied them, and saw actual results? Someone who mastered their frame control?
Absolutely. Stories make these principles come alive. And the story of Ahmed is a perfect illustration of how frame control, aligned with the Najah strategy, can genuinely transform a business and, well, a life.
Okay, tell us about Ahmed. What was his before?
Ahmed was, like many ambitious SME owners listening right now, really stuck in a challenging before state. The sources describe him as someone who struggled to find customers and felt overwhelmed. He ran a consulting firm, he was talented, but his business just wasn't growing. Sales were flat, he was caught in that cycle of chaos, maybe working crazy hours, feeling anxious. That was his daily reality, his internal frame.
So stressed and stagnant. How did that show up in his interactions?
Well, that internal struggle, the uncertainty, maybe even a bit of desperation it came across, subtly. When he talked to potential clients, he probably defaulted to mistake number 1 and 2. He'd likely explain his complex consulting process, list all the steps, talk about his methodology, all features, all about him. We provide comprehensive strategic analysis using our proprietary 7-step framework.
The feature dump, focusing on himself.
Exactly. He wasn't controlling the frame. His own anxiety and the default sell the features approach were controlling him. Prospects would listen politely, maybe nod.
And then say, thanks, we'll think about it.
Precisely. He was letting their potential doubts, their inertia, define the conversation's frame. He wasn't establishing his purpose, his clarity, his authority. He was describing, not connecting or leading.
Okay, that's a tough place to be. What was the after? What changed for Ahmed?
This is where the power of applying these principles really hits home. The sources state, 3 months later, after Ahmed engaged with the solution one presumably built on or teaching these Najah principles of frame control, his world changed dramatically. His sales didn't just improve slightly, they increased by 40%.
Wow, 40% in 3 months. That's huge for an SME.
It's transformative. But it wasn't just the money. The other part of his afterstate is perhaps even more compelling for busy owners. He finally enjoys time with his family.
Ah, so it was a business and a personal win. His own Najah.
Exactly. A holistic success. And this transformation, the sources emphasize, was a direct result of him learning to master those first 5 minutes, learning to control the frame.
So how did he do it? How did frame control lead to that 40% increase in family time?
The key was the shift in his initial framing. He stopped leading with what he did, his process, his features, and started leading with the transformation he offered. He stopped saying, "We do comprehensive business process optimization."
And started saying,
He started painting the after picture. Maybe something like, imagine walking away at 5 p.m. every day knowing your business is growing steadily and your team has everything under control. We recently helped a client boost their sales by 40% in just 1 quarter. And the owner told me the biggest win was finally being present at family dinners.
oh, wow, that's a totally different conversation starter.
Completely different frame, right? By immediately establishing that powerful, positive, personally relevant outcome, the growth A&D, the family time, he controlled the frame from the first second. It guided the prospect's mind towards what's possible for them, towards that better future they want, instead of getting stuck in the weeds of how or what.
He started selling the result, the transformation.
Yeah. He sold the transformation. He made them envision themselves in that after state. It wasn't just an offer. It was a compelling, desirable future. And he positioned himself as the expert guide who could get them there. That controlled frame made the decision to explore further feel natural, obvious, desirable. It wasn't about hard selling. It was about ethically presenting a clear path to their success, their Najah. He nailed the empathy, the clarity, the belief, the proof, all in those opening moments.
Ahmed's story really drives it home. It shows these aren't just abstract concepts. They create real, tangible, often life-changing results. It perfectly highlights the mission of this deep dive. So as we start to wrap up, let's bring it back directly to you, the listener, the ambitious SME owner. What are those core takeaways, the key actions from our playbook today that you can put into practice immediately, right now? How can you make sure you lead with purpose, with confidence in those critical first 5 minutes and really change the game?
Let's boil it down to the 3 fixes.
Okay, first takeaway.
First, start with crystal clear, problem-focused messaging. Forget the jargon, forget listing everything you do. Cut through the noise. Identify one main pressing problem you solve for them. Use simple language. Highlight the benefit, the outcome that speaks directly to their biggest pain or desire. That's your powerful hook.
Nail that initial clarity. Got it. Second.
Second, proactively demonstrate empathy and build genuine rapport. Show them you get it. Show you understand their struggles, their world. How? By listening more than you talk, asking those open-ended questions, and, crucially, reflecting their experience back to them using their language. Build that real human connection first. It's the foundation.
Connect before you convince.
Okay.
And the third takeaway?
And third, project unshakable belief and integrity by providing tangible value and undeniable proof. Let your genuine convictions shine through, but back it up. Share real testimonials, compelling case studies, solid data. Be transparent, be honest, and practice that value-first mandate. Give genuine value before you even think about asking for the sale. Serve first.
So, clarity, connection, incredible proof.
That's the trifecta for winning the first 5 minutes.
Mastering these 3 actions really empowers you, the SME owner, to grow your business effectively, ethically, and crucially, without ever feeling that dreaded salesy feeling. You're not selling, you're leading, guiding, serving.
Exactly. And that really captures the heart of the Najah strategy. Ethical persuasion isn't about manipulating someone into a sale. It's about profoundly serving them, guiding them to the best decision for them. It comes back to that idea. Knowledge is most valuable when understood and applied. You have the knowledge now from this deep dive. The real power, the real transformation comes from applying it.
So the final thought for you listening, what does all this mean for you? For your business? How will you approach that next client call, that next networking chat, that next pitch meeting? How will you consciously take control of your next first 5 minutes? How will you ensure every single one of those crucial conversations leads with that unwavering clarity, that genuine trust, that unshakable integrity? How will you use frame control to achieve your own success, your own triumph? That's the challenge and the opportunity we leave you with today. Go apply these principles, transform your interactions, and transform your path to success.